Good morning, everybody. Happy to be back here. Advanced DeFi strategies, Bitcoin DeFi on Stacks. Hope you guys are ready. I will do a quick overview for those that may not know BitFlow. I'm co-founder of BitFlow Finance, a decentralized exchange for Bitcoin on Stacks. We are a DEX aggregator where you can trade, earn, and stack BTC. We also have liquidity pools, which powers many of the DeFi protocols in this ecosystem. We have native Bitcoin swaps if you want to go directly from Bitcoin to Runes or Bitcoin to any Stacks tokens as well. We have some very cool automation tools, a recurring dollar costing average that you can kind of set and forget. If you want to buy SBTC, for example, little by little every week, you can do that. It's probably one of the only decentralized finance protocols that you can actually DCA into Bitcoin. And then we have the BitFlow SDK, which is how many of the partners in this ecosystem uses and leverages BitFlow. So this infrastructure unlocks not only trading Bitcoin to Stacks, Bitcoin to Runes, Bitcoin to stables, such as USDC, but also powers many of the liquidity layer, as we call it. We find you the best rate across multiple protocols, from Arcadico pools to Velar to BitFlow, so that you can always get the best rate. So as you're participating in these DeFi strategies, you may want to exit your position. You may want to unlock your stacking DAO tokens, and you can do that by simply swapping as well, which is an easy way out. And also in if you want to participate. And we'll go over that as well. Again, we are a liquidity layer that powers many of the protocols for liquidations, Ledger, wallet swaps, for example, Xverse, Hermetica, and Zest, users of liquidity pools, Granite, and many others. What BitFlow allows you to earn what we call real yield, because as users are swapping one token A for token B, USDC to Stacks, they're paying a fee. Most of that fees go into liquidity providers like yourself. And that's what we call real yield, right? This is organic yield. So we have many SBTC pools as well, where you deposit SBTC, you also get SBTC. So the underlying token and the rewards are paid out in the same token that you're providing, right? And that's what we call real yield. On top of that, we also have staking and farming rewards. And those are promotional yield paid out, depending on which protocol. Those could be very juicy and for a limited time only. But it's important as you're navigating the liquidity pools to always pay attention to the organic yield, the real trading fees, because that's where the money lies and that's where the truth is. Everything else is just an additional or bonus on top of that, right? We have been on the Stacks for a couple of years now. Number one DEX by trading volume and users, almost $400 million in trading volume year to date, 400,000 transactions. We have over 73,000 community members across Zealy, Discord, and X, with 30,000 unique wallets integrating the protocol and over 10 million in TVL. We have been building a lot of the infrastructure from stable swaps to native Bitcoin swaps, to AltaBuy, DCA, and SBTC pool. And we're also getting ready for the HODL, which is a concentrated liquidity engine that is made for Bitcoin assets. And that's going to expand even more your opportunity to earn with Bitcoin. So at the end of the day, we make easy for Bitcoin liquidity to flow. It's essential for any DeFi protocol. And the more usage, the more Ledger, the more Zest, Granite, and everybody in the ecosystem uses and swaps the liquidity, the more fees are going to liquidity providers like yourself. So that's two of the things that we're going to go over today is advanced DeFi strategies, which is basically how do I auto-compound, how do I maximize my yield by leveraging two or three protocols. We're going to go over two examples. One of them is stacking your stacks for stacking for liquid staking token, which just by holding it, it generates 8.78. This is a variable APY, so always check the stacking DAO for the latest. In this strategy, we're actually maximizing this APY by adding your ST stacks to BitFlow's stacks and ST stacks pool, and then stacking that, farming that for additional rewards. So that's giving you today, this is a variable APY. It changes daily based on trading fees and other variables, 16%, 16.8%. So this is a way for you to maximize that yield, right? And you can always enter or exit that position as well. The other strategy that we're going to go over is using Zest. So you're borrowing Zest against your stacks at a rate of 336. So this is the amount that you're paying to borrow, okay? And then you're providing that USDC that you're borrowing by leveraging your stacks collateral to the stacks and USDC pool, which has the highest organic APY on BitFlow, averages around 21%, also changes daily depending on the trading activity. But this is mostly organic yield. So this is one of the most traded pairs, so has a very high APY. And what happens here, you're basically earning 21%, and then you're paying 3.36% on Zest. And again, these APYs and these borrow APRs, they change constantly. So it's always important to keep on monitoring them, checking your liquidation, checking your balances on Zest as we go through some of these strategies, okay? All right, so jumping right into it. First thing, we're going to go over stacking DAO, okay? So again, always make sure in the right URL, the right domain. Be careful where links any clicks, and always find the official links in the respective accounts or such as Twitter or Discord and so forth. So stackingdao.com. What I'm doing here, a first strategy is I am going to stake my, I'm going to stack my stacks for STX yield. So the first thing you want to do is define an amount. I'm going to do 10 stacks here. And the one I'm choosing is the liquid staking with stacks yield, which gets you yield immediately. And it's currently generating 8.78 APY, right? And when you confirm your stack, there's going to be a pop-up you guys may not be seeing from Ledger Wallet or any wallet you're using. You're going to review that and approve the transaction. Okay, there we go. Transaction has been broadcasted. Let me maximize my screen. And you can see here, Stacking Now is already offering some of these strategies that we're actually talking about. You can earn more yield and more points by depositing into BitFlow or borrowing against or supplying on Zest protocol, which is pretty cool. So this transaction is progress. It's going to take a couple seconds for it to confirm, okay? Once it confirms, you're already earning Stacking DAO yield, okay? You're already earning stacks yield, which is paid directly to the protocol. And what's cool about Stacking DAO, you also have this active positions section here on the bottom of the app. And you can see your active positions, tokens that you're holding. Also, if you're providing liquidity to the stacks and ST stacks pool, you can also see it here from your Stacking DAO app as well, which is pretty cool. And then you can see here I have 72 that's not earning yield, so that's not good, right? So what's the next step? Once you get your stacks, ST stacks, what you want to do is head over to BitFlow. Okay. You can go directly to the pool page and you can find the stacks and ST stacks pool. As you can see, we have multiple pools. You can browse, which makes it a little bit easier. And always pay attention to the live pool. We have a couple migrating pools. So this is the live one. It has 2.58, 2.5 million, about 71K volume in the last 24 hours. And you can see the pool APY here, as well as the pool composition, which is how many of each token is in this liquidity pool, okay? So the first step is adding liquidity to this pool. And what's cool about the Stacking DAO liquidity pool is that you can do single-sided liquidity. or you can do any amount of liquidity. We call it a flex pool because you can provide any amount on any side. It doesn't have to match the pool ratio, which is the exact amount of the pool. You can do just stacks. You can do just ST stacks, right? So that gives you full flexibility. So in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do single-sided liquidity. I just stacked my stacks on Stacking DAO, and now I have 8.89 ST stacks, okay? So I'm going to do I'm going to do 8 here, ST stacks. I'm going to uncheck match pool ratio, okay? So that you don't have to provide on both sides. It's up to you. You can. And essentially because these two tokens are very similar price, the ST stacks are a little bit higher. When you remove this liquidity, you're getting back the pool composition, right? So even if you provide single-sided liquidity, it's important to note that when you remove liquidity, you're matching the pool composition. So if you provide 10 stacks, 10 ST stacks, and you remove that, you're going to get 55% stacks and 44% ST stacks. So that's important to keep in mind. But how do we get to the 16%? So I'll show you. First thing you want to do is add liquidity to the ST stacks. In this case, again, single-sided liquidity, any amount. Confirm. There's going to be a pop-up to sign the transaction. I am approving it. And then you can see here this pop-up that your transaction has been broadcasted. You can follow this directly on the Explorer. And it already has been confirmed in the block. That was super fast. All right, so I'm already earning organic yield here. But what's unique about this pool is that we have staking rewards. What is staking rewards? It's farming. It's where you lock up your tokens in exchange for promotional yield. So when you hover here, you can see that Stacking DAO yield is generating 3.94, which is half of the pool is ST stacks. So half of the pool is generating about 4% APY. And then you have booster rewards. These are promotional rewards on top as incentive for locking up and for farming, which is 12.73. And then you have organic APY, which is the trading fee. So that comes out to a total of 16.91, almost 17%. This is also a variable. It changes as organic fees are, as more people are trading, more or less. So it's always important to check that out. So the next step is, as you can see here, let me refresh my screen. I have about $9 of stacks and ST stacks LP in this pool. I want to maximize my yield. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stake this in the farming pool. You can also go to earn. You can find that specific pool. And let me go back here. What's cool about this as well is you're getting 150% points multiplier on Stacking DAO. You're also getting 2x points on Bitflow. And you're getting the organic APY plus staking APY. Okay? So to stake, it's pretty easy. You can see your LP balance here, which is your positions in the pool. I have about 8 LP, ST stacks and stacks LP. I'm going to add a max here, and then you have the option to choose how many cycles. A cycle is about 24 hours, okay? You can do any amount. You can do 1 day. You can do 10, 20, whatever you feel comfortable with, okay? This means that for 20 cycles or 20 days, you're not going to be able to have access to these tokens. These are going to be locked in a smart contract that's going to be earning daily emissions, okay? So let's do 10 days. And you click Start Earning. There's going to be a pop-up as well. You sign this transaction. We can see this transaction in the Explorer. This takes a couple more minutes. And then once that transaction is confirmed, you will see here your positions, your actively earning positions. So this is the previous position that I have. You can see the total amount. You can also see the next unlock. So basically when these LP tokens will be available for you to reclaim, which is very important, okay? So we are at cycle 148, and some of my tokens are going to be unlocked at cycle 150. So it's about 48 hours or 2 days. And when they are available, they're going to show up here available to reclaim, and then you can reclaim your LP tokens, You can swap it back, remove your position, or maybe stake it again, okay? On the rewards tabs, this is where you're going to see your daily rewards, okay? And in this case, this unique pool, we're actually paying rewards in LP tokens. What does that mean? So instead of getting stacks or ST stacks, you're getting both already in the pool. So this position is also earning organic yield. So it's kind of like a compound, right? So as you can see here, I have 0.023 LP tokens already available to reclaim. And this is a daily emissions, right? You don't have to come in, you don't have to come back daily. You can set a calendar for 7 days, whatever it is, or claim it at the end of your staking cycle, whatever you feel comfortable, okay? You can claim these rewards. Again, a pop-up will show to approve the transaction. And then once you claim these LP tokens, you can add, again, more to your staking position, or you could just continually earning the yield, or you can swap it back and remove it. It's really, really up to you, okay? So as you can see here, my active earning position has updated. Now I have 12 LP positions, not 12 tokens. Okay, this is 12 LP tokens, not 12 stacks. And I'm actively earning emissions. So daily, you'll be able to see these rewards coming in, right? And you can reclaim them and do whatever you feel comfortable with, right? If you're done staking, you claim your rewards, you unstaked it, reclaim your position, you can go back to the pool, which is super easy, and you can remove liquidity. Okay, so this is what remove liquidity means. So you're removing your position from the liquidity pool, and you'll see your balance. You also see the estimated stacks and the estimated stacked ST stacks token return. Right. So again, even though you're providing single-sided liquidity, when you're removing liquidity, you're getting back the same pool composition. So in this case, it's 55-45. You're getting 55% stacks and 44% ST stacks. So that's very important. If you want to continue earning on stacks, you would go back to the stacking DAO and stake your stacks. Or a simple way, super fast, is you can quickly swap your stacks tokens for ST stacks. And that's a very easy way. I call it a shortcut to start earning yield on stacking DAO by just swapping. Just by swapping, you're now holding ST stacks. And when you go back to the Stacking DAO app, you actually be able to see your position. So it works both ways. You can come in and stack your tokens here, or you can use BitFlow to swap in and out of position. This applies to many of the other tokens as well, including ST Stacks BTC, which is the liquid staking with SBTC yield, or other tokens in the protocol, okay? So that's one of the strategies, okay? You're maximizing the yield. You're taking advantage of the farming rewards on BitFlow, which is giving you 16% APY, and you are earning almost double of the stacking DAO for a limited time only. This is a promotional yield, so it's important to always pay attention, manage your positions, and see what's best for you and which one is, which position is generating the most yield, and balance that out, right? Because these two pools are essentially the same token, ST Stacks is worth a little bit more. There is no risk of direct and permanent loss, right? Which is usually when you have two different tokens and the price variation of those tokens change, right? So if you're holding Bitcoin and Stacks, and Bitcoin goes up and Stacks go down, or vice versa, you have a variation, and you have what we call a permanent loss on your position, which is measured by what if I just held stacks versus providing liquidity, right? So that's just something to keep in mind, which is not the case for most stable pools, because stable pools are two assets of the same value. So what you're getting back when you remove liquidity is still going to be stacks or ST stacks, okay? So that's one easy strategy. I think it's one of the easiest to do for many beginners. It's important to remember to come back and claim your rewards. Also, when your LP position is unlocked from the farming pool, you do have to reclaim. The protocol has no access to your funds. We have no access to your rewards. Only you, the user, only you with that connected wallet can claim and remove positions. Okay, so that's very important. So it's a good idea to just, if you set it for 10 days, put a calendar reminder, come back a couple days later, check it out, and come back in 10 days, reclaim your tokens. So it's unstaked from the farming contract. Okay. The other strategy we're going to go over, it's a little bit different than maximizing yield. This one, you're actually borrowing at a cost, which today, to borrow USDC using your stacks as collateral is about 3.36. And then you're providing that USDC as collateral to the BitFlow pool, and you're earning about 21% APY, right? There's a higher risk here of liquidations, as Jacob has covered in the previous segment. So you do have to monitor your Zest position to see if the APR, the cost of borrowing, is still worth and balances it out. And the other is we're dealing with two different assets. One is a stable USDC. It's always worth $1. And then you have stacks, right? So as the pool composition changes, when you remove your liquidity, you may get 55% USDC, 45% stacks, or 40% stacks, 60% USDC. So that pool composition changes. So if the price of stacks goes up, there's going to be more demand for people to sell stacks. So usually the pool will rebalance itself. And when you remove it, you're going to get a little bit less stacks. You're going to get more USDC. So that's just something to keep in mind. All right, so how do we do this? Let's go to Zest. Okay. You're connecting your wallet. Again, pay attention to the URLs. Be careful with phishing scams. Always find the official links in their respective accounts. So I'm connected here to the Zest protocol. First thing you need to do is you need to supply your asset, which will be used as collateral, and then you can borrow against that specific asset, okay? So I'll give you an example here. Let's come in with stacks, okay? So I'm going to supply stacks, which is generating 4.21% APY. Let's do another 10. And you can see here all of the details, estimated yield, supply APY. So if you're just supplying on Zest, this is a very important data. This is like how much are you earning to supply your tokens to the protocol. And then collateral is how much of this collateral can you use to take out a loan, right, to borrow other assets. In this case, the max LTV is 50%. And liquidation threshold is about 70. So when it gets to about 70% of the current price that you're supplying, borrowing liquidity, it will get liquidated. So it's very important to manage your position as well. So I'm supplying, there's a pop-up wallet here. I'm approving my transaction, and you can see here the transaction is in progress. And in this type of DeFi strategy, I'm supplying asset, I'm going to borrow, and then I'm going to add to liquidity pool on BitFlow. If it does get liquidated here, means that you don't pay it back or you don't come back to Zest, you still have your LP tokens, you still have your tokens on BitFlow, right? So these are separate transactions. So what you're basically doing here, you're taking out a collateral and then you're using that collateral on BitFlow or any other protocol, okay? So as you can see here, I have about $27 of Zest balance. I have $11 of SBTC, and I have $16 or 24 stacks, okay? What I want to do is, looking down here in the assets to borrow, you have a few options. Okay, I'm only covering one here, but you can borrow ST stacks at 0.78 and then follow the previous strategy I just covered, right? You borrow at 0.78, and you're earning about 421, so you're already positive here, and then you're maximizing your yield on the flex pools on BitFlow, right? One strategy that we're going to be doing here is USDC. So what you can see here, the borrow APR, okay, which is the cost of borrowing a particular asset, fluctuate, it changes. So it's always important to be monitoring this, okay, which is 336. So I'm borrowing at 336, and then I'm providing liquidity to the BitFlow protocol for around 21%, okay? So I'm going to click borrow here, and you can see I have 798 available. I can borrow, let's say 50%, whatever you feel comfortable. The higher you borrow, the more risk of liquidation as well. So let's say I'm borrowing 50%. Seems like this is a healthy amount. You can see the liquidation price as well. And you click borrow. There's going to be a wallet pop up. I am clicking approve. My transaction is being broadcasted. Let's wait a few seconds to confirm. There we go. Awesome. And this is where you manage your positions. You can see your supplies and you can see your borrows. Okay. And you can see how I'm also using 50% of my supplies to borrow USDC. Okay. You can come back here anytime and repay it. Or you could provide liquidity on BitFlow, and then once you finish your position or you earn some yield, you can come back here and repay it as well. You just have to pay attention to the borrow APR because it changes daily, okay? So once you get USDC and you have some stacks, you want to go over to the pools again, and you have stacks and USDC, okay? This is not a flex pool, so you do have to provide liquidity on both sides, okay? So it's important to have a little bit of, have enough stacks on one side, okay? So in this case, I borrow $4 from Zest. As you can see here, it shows up as my balance. I'm gonna max this, meaning like I'm providing all of my USDC, and then automatically we're calculating how much stacks you need to provide on the other side, okay? So you're providing stacks and USDC in this pool. So I'm providing another $4 of stacks and another $4 or so of USDC, okay? You click confirm, and there's going to be a wallet pop-up. You approve that, and then this transaction is in progress. It's going to get submitted in the blockchain. It takes about a couple minutes to add and remove liquidity. And once that is complete, oh, there we go. Once that is complete, you're going to be able to see your positions here. You can see I have about $7 or almost $8 of stacks and USDC. I'm earning about 21.27% APY, okay? And you can hover this to see how it's calculated. This changes daily, but this is sort of the average, okay? And this is organic yield, so you don't have to stake it, you don't have to farm it. This is it. You're providing liquidity. You can remove it at any time. How are the fees paid? So the fees automatically accumulate back to your LP position. So what does that mean? So if you added about $8 here and you start earning trading fees daily, when you remove your LP position, okay, you're going to get a little bit more. So you're going to get your LP position plus any trading fees, okay? In this case, we just added, so there's not going to be any difference, but this is the tab that you come here to remove liquidity. You can add or remove liquidity at any time. It's really up to you. We're not locking this up in any sort of way. So this gives you that flexibility to say, hey, APR on Zest protocol has changed. I want to remove my liquidity, swap it back to USDC, and pay back and repay my loan, right? And I think we can do that real quick. So let's say I'm removing my liquidity. You're going to see your balance, and the trading fees are going to accumulate back to your LP position so that when you remove, you're going to get a little bit more stacks and a little bit more USDC on the way back, okay? So you can quickly remove it. And that takes a few seconds. It looks like withdrawal is confirmed. Let's go to the swap page. I want to see if my USDC balance is there. Okay, my USDC balance is there. And then I can come back here to Zest and repay my loan. And you confirm that in the wallet. And in a few seconds, you get a confirmation. And that's it. That's a complete DeFi loop from borrowing on Zest, supplying, borrowing, providing liquidity on Bitflow, and back. If there's any questions, we do have a very comprehensive support desk on the corner of the app. You can also open a chat, find answers, or open a ticket, and one of our customer service teams will help you out. Always be careful with links. Follow the official links on the app. You can join Discord as well. We have a very active community that can help you out. Always, as you're coming in early, maybe first time, try in a small amount. Read everything, read the guides, make sure that you're monitoring your positions. And then when you feel more comfortable, you start increasing your liquidity provisions in these pools. But if you have any questions, follow us on Bitflow_finance as well. My DMs are also open for anybody that wants to reach out. And I hope to see you in our Discord community, and where you can share some of your trading strategies and some of the opportunities that we shared in this call today. So thank you.